So what's your why? You're so passionate. You're so committed.
Yeah.
Why are you so committed to excellence and greatness in your own life?
Well,
you talk about family, but I'm assuming that's part of it. But why specifically?
But to me, bigger than that, because family is important. But if you live in a third world country, let's be honest. You're limited to what you can do for your family. So while family is important, listen to me. Opportunity is the biggest thing. Like, people ask me, why'd you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning? If I could be a millionaire in America and live wherever I want to live, all I have to do is get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's pretty sweet.
That's it. That's a sweet deal. And I can go to bed whenever I want to go to bed. And I can buy a good bed. I can have a good mattress, right? That I can sleep in when I go to bed, right? So for me, it's opportunity that in this great country, and this country has had its dark past. But I'm fortunate enough, not to have lived in that dark past. Mm-hmm. So there was a time in this country's history where Eric Thomas would not have had some of the opportunities that I have now. So I have opportunities that Dr. Martin Luther King didn't have. I have opportunities that just 50, 60 years ago, they didn't have. So in my generation, it doesn't make a difference what your race is. It doesn't make a difference what your ethnic background is. I can be an entrepreneur. Like 100 years ago, somebody from my background couldn't have been an entrepreneur. I can be a CEO of a company. Right. The two of us can get together, and work together. Like, I live the dream. Yeah. I have an opportunity to live Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. You mean to tell me that I have that opportunity, I'm not going to take advantage of it? Yeah. Like, that's ignorant. Like, there was a time where we couldn't go to school, where if we were trying to get in school, they bring the National Guards, they've got dogs, and they're walking these kids in, to a school where people don't want them. I have an opportunity to go to school and be embraced by professors. Yeah. I have an opportunity to write books. I have an opportunity to do conferences. I have an opportunity to have a show on YouTube. You mean to tell me I have an opportunity to do that and get paid for it, and I'm not going to take advantage of that? Like, that's what I'm passionate about. We flew first class last night, my entire family, right? I have an opportunity to fly first class. I have an opportunity to walk up to the street, Ontario Airport, and just get a vehicle. Like, that's not something that happened 200-300 years ago. And here I am living the dream. And you mean to tell me that the whole world is in front of you and you're not going to try to be a millionaire or billionaire? You're not going to write books. You're not going to get degrees. So for me, opportunity, and this is the biggest thing that's ever happened in my life. And I know we all have different goals, different dreams, to each his own. But the greatest contribution of my life, I dropped out, my grandfather dropped out, my father dropped out. My son graduated from high school on time, right? Went to Michigan State University. He is a student at Michigan State University, a Big Ten institution, works for Tom Izzo, who is going to go down in the NCAA Hall of Fame as a basketball. My son is working with one of the top coaches in the world as a general manager, traveling the world. This was maybe about a month and a half ago. I just, overwhelmed. The AD and Coach Izzo at a big award ceremony gave him his Letterman jacket. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's huge. He has the ring when they went to the Elite Eight last year. They won the Big Ten championship. He's got the ring. He's in school. That's my greatest, that I broke the cycle. So for me to have this opportunity and to set my children up now, for this type of life, that's my why. That I have an opportunity, but more importantly, I can break the cycle. I can change the trajectory of my family forever just by the decisions that I make. So I say this a lot to entrepreneurs. The stuff you're doing right now, the decisions you're making right now, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the decisions that they made 20, 30 years ago has set their children up for the rest of their lives. And here I have an opportunity to do the exact same thing. I told my son, I will pay for you to get a degree. I told my daughter, I will pay for you to go to school. Wow. That's my gift to you, to give you one of the greatest starts that you could ever have in America. So that's my why. And then for all those kids out there who don't have their fathers, who haven't had, exposure to certain role models, certain opportunities, every day when I do my videos, I'm trying to give them access, to some of the greatest speakers I've heard. Sure. I've been with Les Brown. I've been with John Maxwell. I've been to Bob Proctor. I've traveled the world. I've met people like Dan Gilbert. I've met, people in this industry who are just, gurus. And now I want to take that same knowledge And I want to
Sure.
give that to these kids so I can give them the same opportunities that I had.
Who are your mentors right now, and how important do you think it is for people to have mentors/coaches throughout their entire journey of their life, whether they're in school, playing a sport, running a business, trying to be married? How important is it to have key mentors and coaches?
Man. I mean,
and who are yours?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything because, my mother calls it triple darkness. You don't know that you don't know that you don't know. It's triple darkness for the kid that's growing up in a certain neighborhood without his father. He's never left his city. He's never been a 10, 20 mile radius outside of his city. There are kids in Los Angeles who've never been to a beach.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. There are kids in Chicago who've never been downtown at the pier or never walked the Magnificent Mile. There are kids in San Francisco who've never been to the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, can you imagine kids in Huntsville, Alabama, who've never gone to the Space and Rocket Center?
Yep.
So I think it's everything. I'm not where I am because of who I am. I am where I am because of the information that individuals gave me, And so my mentors, and we're fortunate in this generation through books, through social media, anybody could be your mentor.
Anyone, yeah.
You can follow whoever you want. But of recent, Dan Gilbert has been, of course, owns Quicken Loans, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
He's been a mentor to me. He shared with me, the 19 principles that he uses to revolutionize not only his company, but bring back Detroit. And I think that's why my relationship with Dan Gilbert is so important. Bill Emerson, who's also with Quicken Loans, Tony Knuckles, is because I'm watching these guys build Detroit back up.
Yeah.
I get to see the millionaires, billionaires who are building the city back up. I know them. I get to call them. I get to do lunch with them.
Wow.
I get to ask them questions. So Dan Gilbert is one. Tom Izzo, definitely, have an opportunity.
He seems like an awesome guy.
Oh, awesome guy, man. I'm talking about hard-nosed, old school, just lives by principles. Going to the practices, having access to Tom Izzo, has been another mentor. Coach D'Antonio with the football team. I get an opportunity to, go up there on a regular basis and just watch how he operates. I watch these guys in the film room.
Yeah.
I get to see these guys, on the road, on the plane, how they're pouring into these kids and, forcing these kids to get a degree and just the exposure that they're giving to these kids. And then through them, just recently I was through Dan Gilbert, I had a chance to sit down and do lunch with Warren Buffett. That's not somebody that I would normally have exposure to.
Sure.
So that's why I tell these kids, when you get an opportunity to meet E.T., you don't know who else you're meeting. Like,
right.
I work with the NFL. I work with the NBA. They're kids. You work with Kyrie Irving. I'm like, I work with these kind of guys on a regular basis. And I've learned from Kyrie. I've learned from just when I lecture him, just seeing that passion in his eye. Just seeing him listening and following him on Twitter. So I would say that those are some of the, the people now. And of course, CJ, even though CJ works for me, CJ is a brilliant young man. He really is the brand genius of this company. I've been doing this for years. But C kind of came in with just the vision, that was just out of this world. So C is definitely a mentor. I'm learning a lot from CJ. I would say to young people, if you're living in a community and the resources aren't there, I challenge you to get on the bus and go to the library on the other side of town. I challenge you to go and learn the Handel's Messiah. I challenge you, to pick up a piano, to pick up a violin. I challenge you to not accept the life that's been given to you. Just because somebody gave you that life, that does not have to become your reality. I challenge you to go outside of your immediate environment, and I challenge you to explore. I challenge you to discover. Because there's so much, like, if you live in America, you never have to go out of this country. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't travel,
right.
But I'm just saying there's so many great gems in this country. I travel to kids who spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on shoes. I challenge you to get a plane ticket and come to California. I challenge you to go to Miami. I challenge you to go, Manhattan and New York. I challenge you to see America and get out of your neighborhood, get out of those four walls. I challenge you to learn a second language.
Yeah.
I challenge you to watch PBS, NPR radio. Like, I challenge you to get out of just that world that you've been given. I challenge you to read books, to learn the history of this company. Like, I challenge you to be bigger, bolder, and better 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I challenge you to get your high school diploma. Try college. Look, if you don't like it, you can leave, but give it a year, because so many people think it's just about school. I met some of the greatest friendships, some of the greatest people I met in college. So I would say exposure is so important. And some of the people that we admire are people who have been exposed to things that other people haven't been exposed to.
Sure, yeah. What would you say are the 3 biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make that don't make them successful? Yeah. Or 3 big mistakes that someone who's not an entrepreneur, but someone just trying to get what they want, what are those 3 big things that they do that are mistakes?
Yeah, for me, I think most people move without knowing. You know,
no vision.
I just think, man, you know, for a lot of people, they have not literally sat down and thought through, what will this take?
Yeah.
You know, okay, so I want to be a real estate. Yeah, okay, real estate is great. But have you spent months and years asking yourself, what are the qualities of a great real estate, individual? What are the great books that we need to read? What's the knowledge that you need to know? Like, I think people get started from feelings. They get started from these great ideas, but they don't get started from facts.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, one of the things Warren Buffett said that blew my mind, when they asked him his routine, he said he spends the first, well, he didn't say first, but he just said 6 hours a day he's reading.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so just in case you missed that, because I don't want you to go and just buy a whole bunch of books and start reading for 6 hours a day. What I heard was his decision-making process is so much stronger than mine's because it's based off of 6 hours of information.
Wow.
That's incredible. So you spent 6 hours. So a lot of basketball players that I meet, D1 ballers, they spend more time playing the game than they do studying the game. So they don't like watching film. They don't like practicing. And so I would say to the entrepreneur out there, it's not about what you know that's going to create success in your life. It's what you don't know. It's the gaps that's going to break your company. It's those little things that you don't do that you didn't know you were supposed to do that will break the back of your company. That will allow the other guy to get breaks that you don't get. You know, so for me, I started this company and there was just little things that I just didn't know. That going to conferences and meeting people, like I did not know that, Eric, whether you like meetings or not, you need to have meetings and not just have meetings for meeting's sake. There needs to be measurements. There needs to be accountability. There needs to be immediate goals and long-term goals. There needs to be, look at the threats, look at the opportunities. So the first thing I think is that most people are starting a business without truly being informed. You may have 70% knowledge or 60%, but you're not operating on 100% information. And you're so eager and you're so desperate to make money. You're so desperate, to move forward that you haven't spent the quality time building a solid foundation.
Right.
So number 2, I think the problem is once we are informed, we don't have the design. And when I say design, let me just say this. You guys know I'm from Detroit. We call it recall in Detroit. So a car industry would make a car, but the design of that car is not thorough. So they have to call it back.
Yep.
Something wrong with the brake system, something wrong with the acceleration, something's wrong with the ignition, which could create death.
Sure.
Right? So
it has for
many people. It has. So what they have done is they have created a car, but the design was not of greatness. It was not excellent. And so I would say to people, number 2, after the knowledge, make sure that your design, the design of your company, the strategy of your company, the infrastructure of your company is sound. Because what we've discovered is that most companies don't make it past 3 years. Now, I don't know the statistics, but they're high. I think it's over 60% of first-time businesses don't make it past 3 years. Why? Because they're building off of sand and they're not building off a solid foundation. So number 2, make sure your infrastructure is solid. Now we're going to be around for a long time. Now, a lot of people say, we didn't know who Eric Thomas was before. We never heard of this guy before. And the reason why you hadn't heard of me, because I've been building the infrastructure like an ant. Like if you study the ant, when you look at the infrastructure underground of an ant, they say it's like their highways and freeways.
Wow.
They say it's like they're building Rome. Their infrastructure is solid. And so you haven't heard about Eric Thomas. Why? Because I've been getting the masters. I've been getting the PhD. I've been meeting with some of the best leaders in the world, the John Maxwells, the Bob Proctors, the Les Browns. Like I've been meeting with these individuals. So I've been getting my infrastructure solid.
If you want more greatness in your life, then you got to check out this video right here.
You don't have that moment of your day. I don't care if it's 2 hours, 4 hours, where you shut the entire world out. No Twitter, no Facebook, nothing.
No Instagram, which we love the most.
No Instagram.
We love that Instagram.
Oh,